In the fall of 2002, 376 years after the Dutch purchased Manhattan from the Indians, 116 years after the Statue of Liberty was unveiled, 8 years after making my first movie, What America Needs, an interior expedition, and 1 year after the World Trade Center disaster, I began a journey across America to see if America had changed. I would travel from New York City to Los Angeles by train, asking people one question: what do you think America needs?
CSI, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got one blue eye.
September 11th, everybody has fallen out of place and doesn't know really what to do with their life and stuff like that. So we need more choices and stuff, like more guidance to what's the year to come, and year to come. What can we do for the years to come? More guidance and stuff like that.
America needs P-E-A-C-E, peace.
And I feel that America needs more people to open their heart, because when we come together and united, we stand very strong.
Everyone, I think, could use a huge dose of like unconditional love and support. And then we probably wouldn't go around beating everyone up.
Unless you put a root down in Middle Eastern culture, which I don't think we can do, by the way. That's the rub. That's the rub right there. There's no way to put a root down. So you got to go to war. If you're going to call a spade, the only way to deal with the way we're being dealt with is to hang them on fucking crosses.
Exactly what you put out there, you get it back. And I, for one, have no interest in getting back what America's putting out.
People don't really get along now ever since the 9/11, because I live in like a Muslim neighborhood, and right next to us like a Spanish neighborhood, so it's like people don't really get patched up together.
We should bomb them. Yeah. We should bomb them. They killed too many Americans. We should bomb them back. So he's talking, my friend, he's talking about that what the United States need is a lot of peace.
I was here when the towers fell, and the most horrible thing you could possibly imagine, and then to see the most amazing human response, the most it's hard to put into words the amount of giving, the amount of caring, the human empathy and sympathy, and
It was a year after the terror attacks of 9/11. New York was still recovering, and life there seemed very hard. But they had cleaned up Ground Zero, and its perimeter had become a site for tourists to take photos.
I think America needs to be a little bit more aware of hundreds of millions of people living outside of America, like in Europe, in the Middle East, in Far East. I mean, I think people in here do not know what exactly is happening all around the world.
It's a representative democracy, and it has to continually change and adjust to all of the new developments in culture and technology that occur. And if it doesn't, it fails.
A new president and higher taxes.
Why do you think it needs higher taxes? That's probably a controversial statement.
With higher taxes, we can support a more beneficial social system. We don't have a very beneficial social system to anyone. So I don't plan on staying here.
You're not going to stay in America?
No. Within a month after the birth of my child, when the passport has been obtained, we're leaving the country.
The system is fucked up. The public education system is fucked up. I mean, talk to any public school teachers, it's like it's depressing for them to have the hopes and, you know, and energy that they pour into teaching these kids who, you know, they're 13 and they can't even read. You know, it's just like, how did that happen?
I think most of my energy goes into like me trying to get by. I don't have time to like, you know, fight for a cause or worry about someone else's problems other than my own. And I guess that's why I'm kind of apathetic, I guess. I'm a selfish person. I'm a jerk.
Hey, America.
You're looking at all.
Yeah, truth.
I think that America needs a lot more reflection. I think that the nation as a whole could do with some introspection. I think that is the biggest thing that America needs. I don't know, sometimes it pays to look out, to look in.
I went down to Penn Station and got on the Amtrak to go to Washington, D.C. I was beginning my journey west now, and it was kind of hard to get on that train, because to me, New York City was safe and comfortable, and now I was going out into the unknown.
Okay, you asked me what I think America most needs, and I think perhaps we're doing so well on the material aspects of life, but I think we're getting drenched in the trivial, and we'll have to be thinking hard, much harder, about what can improve the quality of America and of our lives, and really focus in on it. That's really it.
You say that it speaks about education again.
Yes, okay. Education is the way to do it. Better education. Not so much cafeteria management as mind examination.
I was scared to go into Washington, D.C. Besides not knowing anyone, they had a sniper there who had already gunned down 10 people in the suburbs. So I made up a plan to interview in downtown D.C., stay in a hotel, and then if it was safe, travel into the suburbs the next day. I checked into my hotel, 6 blocks from the White House.
I think we need a lot more music with love in it. Music about love. The key is music. One good thing about music, when it touches you, you feel all right. And that's a quote from a Bob Marley song. And like during the Depression, music helped a lot of people through. Early days in slavery, the songs helped the slaves through. And I see it here, and we have a jukebox here. I see people come from the club, and they're already, you know, they're nice, feeling nice from drinking. But once they play the jukebox, it's like they feel even nicer, even more happy after the music hits them. I think we need more love, more music. Music, I think music is the key to peace.
I think America needs to take care of home, take care of everything inside the house before you venture outside the house and start worrying about your neighbors, different things like that. If your house isn't in order, then everything else outside is going to be chaotic.
All right. Take care. Thanks, guys.
We need our economy fixed because there are people out of work, and that's not good, and I know quite a few that way. So that's my answer. for better
How do you
or for
think we
worse.
should fix? What are?
No,
Not by
no.
going to war.
What's that?
Not by going to war. I don't think that's the right way, and I think that's what they think is going to help the economy. They're crazy. All these young men will get killed for what? It doesn't make sense. And I hope there's demonstrations all over the country against it.
You know, they didn't do the God Bless America stickers and flags until September 11th. And where were you when the coal got hit? Or when the embassies got bombed?
I think America needs a different, better foreign policy, because the present one irritates not only people in the Muslim world, but also people in Europe in general. Not only the radical left people, but also middle-of-the-road politicians like Schröder in Germany. And I think that I was today at the Roosevelt Memorial, and it says there a line that world peace is only achieved when the world works together. I think that the present administration should think about that.
America needs good friends. Is that enough to say?
I took the metro out to the suburbs. A friend of a friend picked me up at the transit stop. The night before, a woman was shot at the Home Depot.
I was never as confused as I am now. I really am very confused.
Patience. They need a lot more patience. And as far as that, understanding of other people and their needs. And I guess once you get those two together, you've got pretty much what it means.
Right now, there's a lot of shootings, a lot of killings, you know, a lot of people dying, you know, there's a sniper, you know, just going around killing people. And, you know, it's some bad thing, you know, that's happening right now. We can't even walk in the streets, you know, it's pretty bad, I think.
This feels like a crazy time. Feels like we need a change, something to get us back to where we were before. I don't know what that would be, but we need something.
I'm not fond of the whole war thing, but if it's what we need to do to defend ourselves, then like I'm all for it. And the sniper thing, it's really getting to us, because like the last one just happened in Fairfax, and that's like really close to home, so it like scares me because it makes you start thinking, like, all of us have just as much of a chance of getting shot as the lady who did get shot last night. And it's a scary thought.
I don't want to say family values, because it's been hounded over and over again. But I guess that's it. It's every family has different values, and that's okay. But some values, any values, especially with what's going on now. I think all of that started with September 11, but, you know, that was from the outside in. This, with the sniper, is from within. You know, it could be the guy next door for all we know. So that's kind of scary.
We need to know that we're going to have peace, and we need to get rid of this sniper that's around here, killing people.
I was reading in the Post the other day that like gun sales are going up. Like people's reaction to this is to go out and buy a gun, which I think is hilarious and just completely misguided. But I think our culture is kind of engrossed in violence, and the solution for every one of the problems, like, you know, is to go out and kill more people.
We have a lot of fear. Immeasurable amounts of fear going on right now. And we're being fed buckets of it, just everywhere you look. Being told to be afraid. I watched George Bush yesterday, and I think I counted 120-something times he said terror or terrorist.
Are you traveling all over the country?
We're traveling all over the country. I live in...
We sort of have parallel
Totally. I do this concert. I'm a musician. I do this concert in schools where I teach kids about like safety and what it means to be an American. And it's really interesting because I don't know what to tell them anymore. And I've got all these schools. I see 10,000 kids a week from Hawaii to Florida.
Curtis and his wife Judy invited me to travel across America with them in their motorhome. In the midst of the sniper crisis, I was amazed to be invited to travel with strangers that I had just met. It was such a cool idea, and their kind spirit really encouraged me to accept their invitation.
On the boats and on the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America. Oh, don't it seem so far away? But we're traveling right today.
The rest of the world needs our help because it makes us feel bigger. And as long as we're standing there going, I'm big and you're small, the world is going to start flying planes into our buildings and saying, no, you're not. We're big too.
Americans thought that everybody should like them because we are on a mission to do good, and we do, you're right, we do a lot of good, and I see it all over, except what we were blind to is the perceptions of others. There is not only, as you said, your duality, it's our perception as well as the interpretation of how the others see us and what it is that we do and how we infringe or not infringe on perhaps their rights, freedom of choices, etc. So it's a balance. It's your yin and yang.
Let's create something different.
Get your critical mass. Let's do it.
That's right. Get our critical mass. We have it here.
Jerry Rubin, let's
That's
do
right.
it, right?
My husband and I are volunteers for the Red Cross, and we went to New York City after 9/11, and everybody should have been made to walk through Ground Zero. It still bothers me.
Accountability.
That's about what I
Make
said.
people accountable for their actions, for crying out loud. And we're teaching them almost from the cradle not to be accountable.
You want me to push?
Yeah, try it. I don't think it will, but because there's so much compression.
Wait a minute. Okay. Okay.
I need to get straightened out. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing, and I've been thinking it, and I haven't said it to anybody. Even though I'm a staunch conservative, and I'm really behind Bush, I think he's done an outstanding job. I can see how people in other countries of the world are wondering, who in the hell do we think we are?
Yeah.
You know, I still believe we've got to do what we got to do, but looking at it through somebody else's spectacles, I can really see how they think, you know, those arrogant SOBs are going to decide who's in power and who's not in power.
You're never going to get out of that truck?
You're never going to get out of your truck, driver?
Not up behind. Okay, whole thing up here.
Damn. All right. Well, you keep on trucking then, right?
Well, that's what I should do if I take the train back.
I feel like I've just made some new friends. We trucked around Virginia together, but I wanted to stick to my plan to cross America by train. So they dropped me off in Charlottesville, and we said our goodbyes.
So that's me saying goodbye to them. Curtis and Judy and little Kelly. Minnesota.
You what?
I'm a filmmaker from Minnesota. I'm making a movie.
Okay.
I'm going all the way from New York to California, asking people one question. What does America need?
What does a man eat?
No, what does America need?
It needs more religion, more belief in God.
Ben?
There's a lot more people who don't care for anybody but themselves. They aren't interested in helping other people. There's no concern of people for strangers or friends or anything. I mean, it's just the world is going to, well, at least America is going to pot. I don't know. It has changed so drastically. It's frightening and it's sad, I think. I try to keep my world the way I want it to be, reaching out and doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
All right, good for you.
I believe in God. I believe He's there. I believe He helps us, and it's up to us to change the world through Him.
I think needs the Lord. I'm not joking. America needs the Lord. Needs to come back to the good Lord. I mean, to be honest with you.
And all like that. That's the way I feel. You know, more harmony among the people. But mainly, we need more honesty from the government. Just like they're getting ready to jump up now and send a bunch of young men over to Iraq, and I don't believe it's our place to do that, you know. They're after Saddam, and they haven't finished with bin Laden, you know.
I think America needs to get used to its new role as the only superpower. I think America needs to know that it's part of the rest of the world and needs to act responsibly without the threat of someone else blowing them up. And post-September the 11th, I think America needs to understand its role in terms other than its divine right to be the new Israel, to carry this gospel of American democracy to the world, because I think that will ultimately lead to America being increasingly isolated and increasingly in danger of terrorist attack.
I think a quote that Gandhi said once was, you have to be the change you wish to seek in the world, and that to me starts with education and an understanding that a lot of the problems that the world faces are problems we face together. And I am a bit of an idealist, I hopefully grounded in some sense of realism, but it can and does start with one person oftentimes, and that really does matter, because if you can change one person's mind, you start a cycle which can then bring about the change you want to see. And it's a matter of seeing what you want to change about the world.
What does America need? I think America needs more critical awareness of people who are not like them in regards to religion, in regards to lifestyles, cultures. America needs to be more aware. They're a bit too egocentric and spoiled. That's my question. That's my answer. And this is Oscar.
With like the country looking within itself as a country, you know, like looking at what's important. It's not, you know, what we drive or what we're wearing. That's not going to get us anywhere. People just need to, you know, get over what they can buy and start worrying about what they can do.
There's too much apathy out there, and people just don't pay attention to the news, follow election results, and get involved. That's my belief.
I disagree with the government, how they go. They need to give us like better living, better wages, or cheaper homes or something. But so we just rather just sit here and panhandle like this now.
It's all about power and control. But no one's in power and control but God. He's the only one. And as soon as we realize that, you know, this will be a better world for all of us.
Next time, watch your step, please. Wait a second, George.
The next place I'm going is West Lafayette, Indiana. I chose it because it's a medium-sized city in the Midwest, and also the home of my first cousin, John, and his family. The train arrives at 5:30 in the morning. John was supposed to meet me there, but for some reason we couldn't find each other, so I walked into downtown and found a farmer's market.
You say that again, sir?
Need some good leadership. It doesn't have it right now.
Maybe you could send President Bush one of your cactuses.
He'd probably eat it. Or try to. No smarter than he is. Well, you saw what happened this last election. Gore won the popular vote. And I would say he won Florida. But Bush got a bunch of Republican politicians, judges, to get him in. And in my opinion, he stole it. We have a guy up there who wants to be a dictator. He wants to be the head man, a dictator. And I just don't have any use for him.
Have you seen other dictators in your life? I don't know how long you've been around.
I've seen Hussein.
Hussein?
Saddam Hussein. You know him?
I heard about him.
He's a dictator.
I think America needs a lot more kindness from human beings toward each other. And I believe if that happened, we'd all be living in a better place right now. I teach middle school kids, so it's kind of important they learn that lesson early in life. I'm hoping maybe they will.
We've lost the sit down and talk and socialize and actually meet and listen to people. Instead now we just have, would you like to supersize that, or, you know, would you like to biggie size it? I really think we've taken like the fast food walk in life. We get our burgers fast, we get our families fast, and basically the socialization has been lost in that. Everything's now or yesterday.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love. And so does America, really. I don't know that we're expressing it, if we have it. I don't know that people are putting it out there for other people to see and feel and share and know. So. $2.45.
Nobody on. You got time. You got time. You have time. Find what you need.
Win it, win it, win it, win it, win it. I think you're doing a much better job. The 5v2 drill, the game last week, and again, the last 3 games, your heads are up more. And make sure you're...
I finally met up with my cousin John. He drove me back to his house in suburban Lafayette. He lives there with his wife Karen and their kids Annie and Paul.
I think that they could have more love if they have less of affluence. I think we suffer from affluenza, and I think a lot of our problems are related to us not being able to connect with each other very well because we don't really meet each other very much. We have too much money, too much, too much distraction, too much easy distraction. The connections between us are replaced by money, and I think that that's made all of us a little bit less concerned about our situation. It used to be if you lived in a little area, you didn't know anything outside of your area, and what you did in your own life, you knew how it affected people around you because you saw them and you knew them and you knew what happened to them. And nowadays, we can affect people very, very far away by our actions, and of course we have no understanding of those people, but we don't even have understanding of the people who live next door or down the street.
We were right across from a military graveyard, and walking around in there made me think a lot about America's past wars and the impending conflict we were just about to have with Iraq. John introduced me to his friends Kathy and Ed. Kathy was returning to her home in northern Wisconsin that day, so I decided to ride up there with her.
We're just going. Just getting in the car and we're driving. See where we end up. Destination, Door County, Wisconsin. Jacksonport, to be exact.
Yeah, only 3 letters, God.
I've been in the Midwest like 3 months, and fuck, these people are so anal.
You have to realize that you're in one of the most racist cities in the United States of America right now.
What city's that?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I think we need a sense of time, too. We don't have any sense that who we are now is related to who we were in the past or who we're going to be 100 years from now. We're people who live in the present. We don't have any sense of time. No sense that we are part of a larger reality than simply the life that we lead here and now in our personal space. And that, to me, is part of the essential problem. And we need more gypsies. And we need more flamenco.
It's all about loving and all about being dedicated to peace. I feel very sad today. America needs to go back to the beginning, to learn how to love as much as we can from wherever we are.
I think they need to stop being greedy, those big guys up, like the oil people, oil company, you know. That's what controls America.
Yeah, greed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Greed.
It feels really sad to be an adult and feel like you really don't have any say in your government because you don't believe that any of the politicians that you're voting for are being clear about what they really think because they're all corrupted by the system anyway. I find that really disheartening. Like, we spend time in Mexico, I'm kind of used to the idea that the entire Mexican political system is ridiculously corrupt. It's not paying attention to what's important at home and not being altruistic enough. It's all greed, like you said.
Yeah, it's a mess right now.
Yeah. When you were 20, you could kind of like be an American. Oh God, everything's fine, everything's beautiful. And the older you get, the more weird stuff you see coming down, the less faith you have in our system and that everything's going to be okay and that your leaders are actually trying to lead and not just trying to line their pockets or line their state's pockets or line their father's pockets. It's very disheartening.
I think that we need to recognize that every other country and every other human being on this planet has a right to have a life, to eat well and to have a family and to everything that every American wants. I mean, why are we any different than Iraqis or than the Afghani people?
What I think America needs is less politicians telling us what we need and more communities telling us what we need. Politicians don't know family to family what we need, but communities do.
I think all people in Congress and the Senate should be wearing the American flag as a jacket. You know, so they're there, they realize why they're there. Just similar logic to why they want kids to wear uniforms in schools. You know, so there's no party fighting. Well, same thing should happen in Congress and the Senate to realize why they've been elected for the better of America, not just for their own, what's good for them or their own local district.
And this is a very sad day for me because it's my birthday and I'm not happy at all. Well, it will be happy someday if it stops raining. America is such a good place, and why is it going down the tubes? Because of the selfishness of some people. Because that's what it is. It's not the people who give.
No, it's not the average person
No.
in the country.
So
What do you think we can do about that?
what can we do about it? Well, I'm helpless.
Besides the rain and the cold, it was beautiful to be in rural America, away from the hustle and bustle of the cities. But now I was ready to leave Door County, and I needed to get to a train station, and the closest one was in Milwaukee. So I posted a note in the local coffee shop, and the next day Aaron called and offered me a ride.
It's snowing.
Well, I wasn't going to give you a call and I wasn't going to give you a ride because my parents were all worried about it. And they said, you know, you can't drive to Milwaukee, that's a big city, and you don't know this guy. And I thought, I don't want, because my father was a police officer and he brought me up not to trust anybody, and I don't want to live the rest of my life like that. Just see the goodness, see the greatness in people, you know. I think that's what America needs.
I think he's going to put us into a war which we don't need. I don't approve of this at all. He's not being sanctioned by any other nations, and he's got the people of the United States against him. So I don't know how where his reasoning is coming from. I think the people of the country should be the ones that they should listen to, not Congress. You know, we're the ones that have to get out there and sacrifice our sons and daughters. He should use all the means possible to get this settled peacefully. That's my opinion.
We need a little love for one another. We have no love and respect for one another. As a nation, we have no unity. What do you think, Thunder Dewey?
I agree with you. Peace, love, friendship, need a lot of that. That's something that never goes bad in America. Got to keep having it.
I love you, man. I love you. See that? We have no love. We have a lot of love here. A lot of love around this railroad.
There's a lot of love on the railroad?
Oh, a lot of love. You love me? You love me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they love me. See my
I
passengers.
think there's a lot of love on the airplanes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Bush forgives, Jesus forgives Bush, but Jesus will never vote for him again. I love that.
I'm nearing the halfway mark of my journey. I've traveled for over 2 weeks, gone thousands of miles, and my next stop is Burlington, Iowa. I specifically chose this small town because it's on the Mississippi River. And during the first What America Needs movie, we passed through here. We interviewed a few people then, but mainly we found a few beers and a boarded up downtown. So I'm really interested to see if much has changed since then.
woman president.
Why do you think we need that?
Because no mother sent her boys to war.
The politicians, the minute they hit the Beltway, are playing to a different set of rules than they would have even found acceptable by their standards a few years prior to that. We're headed, the direction we're headed is not enviable.
Boy, I tell you, our world's in a terrible shape.
They need somebody to run the country that can run it. Now there's what they need, in my opinion.
We're too old. That's right, we're too old. We ain't with it.
Representation of the people. They should stop just talking about that's what we are and actually do it. I'm an everyday person and I don't feel like I'm being represented.
Probably just some good, plain common sense. Lots of love.
I lose sleep. Actually, and I think it's because I'm getting older and I'm relying on my IRA and my investments. And this is the first time we had 8 years of good prosperity, and I see it when I get my statements going down.
I'd like to thank all of you that came to my birthday party, which was a big surprise to me, and I really enjoyed every one of you and appreciate you and think a lot of all of you. So, thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Well, you know, when you get 90 and still get out on the floor and dance, well, you're in pretty good shape, ain't you?
You bring on the rain, so keep on smiling. Be happy again when you're smiling. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Burlington seems a lot friendlier now. Maybe the boom economy of the late 90s has helped. Its downtown has more life. It's less boarded up. When I was here for the first What America Needs in 1994, we were on a journey going south alongside the Mississippi. From the river's source in Minnesota to its delta in Louisiana. In that film, people primarily talked about lack of jobs and how they didn't know their neighbors and their distrust of politicians. Today, 1994 seems like a long time ago, and we've experienced two major events since then. The economic downturn of the dot-coms and the horror of terrorism. Many answers I've heard seem to reflect those events. I also recognize that maybe I've changed. I'm in my 30s now, a single dad with a 7-year-old daughter, and this time I'm traveling alone across America. Not with a film crew, instead with a small video camera. I found the train is a great way to travel. I've met so many interesting people in the dining, in the handicapped, and the smoking cars.
That's the end of the story.
I really don't know how that's going to work in the movie, but...
So I always have new folks to talk with. And the train is kind of like its own small town, rolling across the USA. And let me tell you, Amtrak is way more comfortable than going by plane or car. It's so much more stress-free. It's like you can relax and kick back and watch the scenery go by. Or listen to people talk about meeting new friends. and seeing amber waves of grain.
You really do see the amber waves of grain. You really do see.
Or just their love of the railroad. But I think most people ride the train because they love the journey, and seeing the land, and meeting new friends. So even though I'm only halfway across this country, I sense that something is different. And I hope I know more about this country and how it's changed when my journey ends 2 weeks from now in Los Angeles.
I really think it needs leadership that recognizes how people work. The way the world works is people want to be respected. And unless you bring that into any situation, respect, and that means listening seriously, earnestly to what they have to say. And unless you bring that in, any conflicts are just going to continue. So I think that we need people who actually treat each other respectfully and listen to other concerns and try to work out something workable, something mutual. And that, I think, would diffuse terrorism way more than cowboy justice and arrogance and threats and violence.
Served in a diner. We shall be arriving in Denver Station in about 30 minutes. Thank you.
My next stop was Denver, Colorado. I was finally getting to the western part of the United States. My cousin Jewel was going to meet me at the train station. That same day, a peace march was happening around the world.
I think the American lifestyle is still pretty soft and privileged. I think we kind of need to realize that there's a lot of people living on this planet who are doing a lot worse than we are. Unfortunately, history tends to tell us that cultures pretty much pick up and take over other cultures sort of willy-nilly. It's something that's happened all the way throughout the development of human history. You know, there are a lot of cultures in the world that are getting ready to emulate our lifestyle, and the planet's just not going to support that.
People made a lot of sacrifices, and you think that's how it should be. That people should sacrifice or be willing to do for their country so we can have the freedoms that we've got. I don't mean war. I don't mean to sacrifice going to war. I mean to care about your neighbors, care about your schools, care about the kids.
Keep things safe. Make sure there's not any bad people anywhere. Just, you know, try to keep the bad people off the streets so nobody gets hurt.
Not just for kids anymore.
No! Oh, you turkey!
America needs to stop freaking out. Just act normal.
Oh, don't put me on film.
Oh, I'm making a movie. No? You don't
Money.
Money?
Yeah.
What do we need money for?
What's the biggest answer?
Biggest answer is probably peace. That's probably what I'm hearing.
That's a good answer, too.
kindness. That's what America needs. America needs people to be kind and not mean all the time. Okay. No, that is true. I mean, even in our football team, you know, the parents are just so irate and so rude. Nobody's kind anymore. They just want to be, you know, nasty and mean, and nobody wants to be kind anymore. 10-year-old. This is 10-year-olds. So you imagine 10-year-olds and you have parents like that. So, I mean, you can't find anybody nice anymore. Nobody wants to help you out. Nobody, I mean, everybody just kind of wants to do their own thing. They don't want to actually be a team and help each other out. So that's what I think this world needs.
America needs friends.
After 3 very easy days in suburban Denver with my cousins, I was leaving for a place where I didn't know anyone. A place they said was in the middle of nowhere. I kind of felt like I was going to the moon, but it was only going to take 23 hours on the train to get there. I was going to a small town called Winnemucca.
God sent his son, they call him Jesus. He came to love.
Jesus. We need him in our lives. And without him, it's really no sense for us to continue, because we're going to continue in doubt and worry. And when we trust God, whoever God may be for some, because obviously some people believe in Muhammad, some people believe in Jehovah, some people believe in, you know, different forms of a superior, higher being. But it doesn't matter what we call it. If we trust and believe, then we'll be, I think, in a better position to deal with whatever comes our way, whatever trial and strife and adversity. So that's my opinion.
I mean, I think regular people are angry and want to do something, and we have to relearn the techniques of the 60s, the ways that people made democracy effective in the 60s, the way we stopped a war. We stopped the war in Vietnam. The next election, if there's anything wrong, people have to get in the streets and protest. It was amazing. This time, the election was stolen and nobody's in the streets, even in Berkeley, nobody was in the streets. In the 60s, there would have been hundreds of thousands all over the country.
There's the French Basque and the Spanish Basque, I guess, but they're quite the sheep herder people. They've become real famous, you know. And then their restaurants are they serve lamb, I guess.
Except for a seeing eye dog, I was the only one to get off the train in Winnemucca. I didn't know where to go, so I got some breakfast, checked into the casino hotel, and sat down for a haircut.
Everybody's going to give you a different answer. I mean, nobody has the same answer.
That's right.
Good president.
Good president?
Yeah. No wars.
No wars?
No wars. War's no good. You don't gain anybody in the war. Only billions you make somebody else. Poor guys, he not making nothing. He died. I've been in the Spanish Civil War. I see too many dead young fellas. For nothing. For nothing.
We're fighting more than one wars here. And we're fighting to stay alive. That's what. To me, I just think we just need a better president, or for him to get a little bit smart and get some sense in him. You know.
In Canada, that shit don't happen. They take care of their own, not here. We take care of everybody else.
Take care of the rest of the world.
Fuck. Yeah, we let the towel heads come over here and support them and give them money to open businesses and everything else while we have our fucking American children and mothers on the street. That don't make sense. That I got a problem with. You know, I worked at whorehouses here in Nevada for fucking 14 years to support my kids. Because it's easier than going on welfare and living in a ghetto. You know, but I dropped out of law school. I had scholarships to UCLA so I could support my kids and give them what they want. Not what they wanted, what they needed.
You probably don't want to hear what I got to say.
You know, I just feel like I'm a vehicle to hear all these things, you know. I don't have my own agenda. I'm not trying to hear a certain person.
I'll tell you what chaps me more than anything is these people that's like these guys, the sniper guys, they spending all these money on these trials and stuff, and all these other states that's got the death penalties and stuff, and they're not using it. That really gets under my skin.
You notice if you go to different towns, and it depends on where you're at, you know, people aren't as friendly. I've had a recent experience where I've got a new boss who came from Texas and has been absolutely shocked at people caring about it. So I guess maybe caring, you know?
And if the people would just get off their ass, put down their bag of Fritos, turn off the Simpsons, leave the beer in the fridge, and go down and get involved in their community. Quit bitching about it and do something. I mean, it's easier to sit there and bitch and moan than it is to take action.
They need some balls, that's what they need.
Better leadership.
There you go. That's about it.
Need some balls, huh? That's the first time I heard that answer. All right. How do you think we should get those balls?
It was mid-afternoon, and I felt like I needed that special interview to really feel like I got Winnemucca. I thought of Michael Moore and how in his documentaries he interviews CEOs and movie stars just by showing up at places. Surely I could interview the mayor of Winnemucca.
You know what? Check with Lucy right across the hall.
You can talk to the city manager. The mayor's not in.
Okay.
Pretty good. Mark Wojahn. Art? Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm going across.
Got an appointment. I just wanted to warn you in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
We're very generous people in our country, and we send millions of dollars all over the world to help people, but I think we're losing it at home. That's about all I have to say.
Okay. Well,
then I thought I could try the courthouse and interview a judge.
But nobody in this office is in.
Yes, there's Sherry. Is Judge Wambolt in per chance?
He is? Yes, he is.
This gentleman is a filmmaker from Minnesota, and he's traveling around and asking questions, and he was wondering if he has one question to ask of a judge, and
The question is, what do you think America needs?
And he's just doing a documentary, and so he thought, I don't have a judge, so I gave him to you. Okay, all righty. Good luck.
Thank you for leading me up here.
You betcha.
And your name, sir?
My name's Mark Wojahn.
He's right in the middle of writing a brief,
Okay,
so we cannot disturb him right now. I just checked with him.
okay, he's not available right now.
No.
Do you think there's another judge that might be here?
You might check with Judge Sullivan.
Where's he at?
He is, you go back down the hall,
Okay.
okay? And you'll see a long hallway that's got skeletons hanging in it.
Okay, I saw that, yeah.
You turn to your left there and go all the way down to the end, and there's a door that's got glass on it and a purple streamer.
Okay.
The lady's name is Rosa, possibly Judge Sullivan is it.
Okay, all right, thanks. So this is the hallway with the skeletons, I take it. I wonder how many hallways of skeletons Michael Moore has walked down. I bet you that's quite a story.
Hello. Hi.
The fun thing about this is, I never know what's going to happen next. Maybe that's a scary thing too.
The area of the cold air moving to
He's not in this week.
He's not in this week. Oh, shucks.
Darn it. Because I'm sure he would. He's probably do it, but he had to go down to Vegas and be on a 3-judge panel down there, so.
Okay. Would you like to answer the question, ma'am?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'd probably be too embarrassed to. I would have to do it on camera.
Well, I'm making a movie. It's part of the point of it.
Now my ego was really feeling bruised. I didn't feel like anyone wanted to talk to me. So I left the courthouse and walked down the street. And interestingly, into the liquor store. And guess what? Yeah, they didn't even want to talk to me.
Down at the pawn shop.
So I asked them, who do you think might want to answer this question? And they said, you should go talk to the sheriff. I realized the way I make movies is probably much different than Michael Moore's. I seem to enjoy talking with whomever I run into. Whereas I think Michael Moore just waits and waits until they talk to him.
Mark, how you doing? Gene Hill. Have a seat. Nice to meet you,
But this sure is an interesting way to explore a town, to go around the corners and to see who you run into.
In the world, if you will. I was going to say United
And for that, I do thank Michael Moore.
This is the greatest country in the world.
Okay.
And it's up to us to keep it that way. Now, the other countries are not going to help us do it, particularly in this time of terrorism and people creating such heinous crimes that the communities need to take back their country. It's beyond what law enforcement can do just by ourselves. I mean, this is a project that involves everyone, law enforcement and the citizens and the courts. You know, I think we all have to play on the same ball field, if you will. The common goal is to work together, you know, to make this country the better one. And like here, that's what I try to do for this county, you know. But if we can bring everybody together for this common goal, you know, it'll work. You know, it truly will.
So my next stop is San Francisco. I have been interviewing for the last 3 weeks straight, and I'm worn out. I feel so ready to go home right now. But the thing that stops me from quitting is I found out when I go beyond myself is when the really important things happen. It's kind of like the enthusiasm about the idea or the project needs to get washed away. And then I just feel alone. Finally empty of my own ideas. And I think that can be a good thing. Because I get to the place where I'm more truly open to see, to listen, and learn.
It will take us 4 minutes to clear. While passing through the big hole, we will cross the highest point of our journey over the Sierra Nevada with an elevation of 7,040 feet.
Having you ask me a question, what does America need? I think it has to do with talking to each other, taking the time to do what you just did, stopping to introduce yourself, and me taking the time to talk to you. So if it's on a camera, in a movie, or in your eyes, or in your heart that we talk, we get our stories together. And if you live with intuition, in some sense, I believe some sense of spiritual conscience. However that might be, some people meditate or pray or write or listen to the inner voice or something like that. I think there's value in that, taking the time to be at peace, to find some peace within yourself, even if it's a few moments in the day. So I'm on a journey, and I don't always know where I'm going.
Almost 16 hours later, I was outside of San Francisco. Some filmmaker friends of mine were going to pick and put me up the next couple of days. but nothing prepared me for California.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Excuse me.
Yes.
My name is Mark. I'm a filmmaker from Minnesota. How are you doing? I'm doing good. And I'm going across the country asking people one question.
What does America need?
Better dental care. Better health care.
What America needs is more creature tenderness. I went flying in green for 7 years, and I went way over to the beyond. And mostly what I saw was creature spirits. I slept with these little street birds next to my throat at night. They said they were germy and disease-ridden. I said, if you have a disease, I will get it with you and we'll go together. And I'm not worrying about it because I'm not going to leave you to stand on the street. And I picked up 400 birds and took, over 6 years, and took thread off their feet and took care of baby birds and slept with them by my throat. They walk on my face. I got no diseases. I did not get sick. I just, like Madame Curie, I came alone and disproved these lies and defames against these holy birds. We, America, owe pigeons money. We owe them bird seed, and we better pay it before we end up in the beyond.
Okay.
Well, we're bombing the shit out of the rest of the world. It just seems so hypocritical and self-centered to ask us what we need. Why don't we get off the rest of the world's back? You know, as if we need more of a sense of to create our own sense of identity, to shore up our own sense of identity, which is falling apart because of internal malaise, corruption, cynicism. You know, there's some kind of some kind of closet nationalism or national identity that I sense latent in your question. And the assumption is that there can be a consensus, and it's absolutely out of the question. It's not going to happen.
But also coming from, you know, immigrant parents that, you know, lived in a dictatorship, they always stressed to me the importance of voting. So I've never ever taken that for granted, and I'm amazed at people who don't vote. Really am. So anyway, but that's putting faith in sort of a voting democracy or system, but revolution.
So what do you have? You have chaos. So what do? You try to better it. So what do you need? You need government. Who do you pick? You know, that's what I'm saying.
It needs to be less self-centered and look at the rest of the world. 134,000 children will die of either starvation or lack of medicines this week throughout the world. 134,000 in 1 week. Every week. That's United Nations figures. Not some trendy lefty figures. United Nations. And each of us in the West are responsible for that. Because we're the ones that subsidise all the West, not just America. But it's sad, and it's nothing to do with left or right. It's to do with correctness, if you know what I mean. It's nothing to do with whether you're a socialist or whether you're a capitalist or whatever. It's to do with whether you believe in humanity, you know?
No. Are you from this class?
Better government.
Why is that?
Because the one is on it is no good.
What would you like to see the government do?
Well, it's tough fighting with everybody. It's like you too. You don't want to fight, right?
They, you know, America doesn't need anything. We got everything. And I came to America just to having a good time.
Arriba. America needs everybody to be creative and uninhibited and special. I think that if America supported the arts and the artists and creativity more, that we wouldn't be worried about all this high-tech bullshit. Let's go for circus performers and riding elephants and camels and giraffes and performing tigers and live window displays.
bring them is so we can do this. Like,
Halloween is one of my favorite nights, so I was really excited to be in San Francisco. I made up a costume from a local thrift store and headed down to the Castro district. People had told me that this was the site of one of San Francisco's biggest parties of the year.
America needs to chill the fuck out.
I don't know what America needs, but honey, I'm a virgin, and I need it right up the ass right now so bad. Oh, I just need a hot throbbing cock, honey. Hot throbbing cock just to satisfy me. It's been so long. My body's temple of God, but it needs to be oh, good.
I know. More naked, cute boys.
Why do we need more naked, cute boys?
Well, more naked, gay, cute boys then. For me.
Politicians need to smoke weed and they need to look at boobies, because boobies make everyone happy. Boobies make everyone happy.
He said that to the right gal.
And quit fucking around and screwing with these motherfucking poor people. And donate some motherfucking money, because y'all run motherfucking 99% of the country's wealth. Give some to me. I'm a broke motherfucker and I could use some bread. Help me out.
Awareness, love, peace, support for teenage pregnant women, because damn it, they're people too.
Probably needs more honesty, you know, and like guts. You gotta stick it out. These are hard times, you know. Love. They need love. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you.
America needs compassion, and America needs to think about people who don't live in America and realize that we fuck other countries over really badly. I think that's what America needs.
We need love for everybody. We need to come together as one and fight the evil that is going on right now. We don't need this war in Iraq. It's bullshit. Bush is an elite imperialist. He wants to be the governor of the president of the world. He wants to make the American empire and take over everything. It's bullshit. We don't need that. We need to come together right now.
A new goddamn president. I'm Republican and I hate the bastard. Why do you hate him? He's an idiot. He's worse than Dan Quayle. I'd rather have Dan Quayle as president. How about that? He spells potato with an E.
I don't know, anti-war. Why doesn't America just be happy with what it has? Why does it have to go for more all the time? I don't know. What do you think?
I agree with that. Less selfishness.
Less selfishness, less...
More love for your fellow man.
America needs to be San Francisco. Just look around here. This is what it's all about. This is about diversity. This is about people having fun. This is about young people learning how to walk together.
The next morning, I was exhausted, hungover, and I missed my morning train. I had one city and 3 days of interviewing to go. My final destination, Los Angeles.
Where were you born?
was I born? Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wow. You know what? Guess where I was born?
I don't know where.
Earth. We're all Earthlings. We're all Earthlings. It doesn't matter what color we are. It doesn't matter what language we speak. Ants live in different places. Ants are different colors. There's red ants, there's black ants. There's all color kind of ants. You just sat down and had a conversation with me. Well, maybe that's what the world needs to do. Is just sit down and have a conversation with each other. You know, what have we got to lose? We're already fighting, and that's sad.
I think America needs to build a better military, stronger, effective, and more resilient.
And you said you were in the military?
United States Navy, USS Enterprise.
What was that experience like for you, man?
Scary.
Why was it scary?
I was in the Gulf War before it was the Gulf War.
What do you think America needs, man?
To legalize marijuana?
What a pothead. I thought it was legal in California, man.
Oh my God. Oh.
It makes you laugh.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Oh, that was classic. Legalize marijuana.
I tried to rest and recover on the train, but it didn't work. I think the Californians sensed a vibe about me now, or my camera, and they wanted to talk to it. I wasn't seeking people out. Instead, they were hunting for me. We rolled into LA about an hour late, and a friend picked me up at the station.
Good fucking question, dude.
Needs
a lot more people that are pretty fucking intelligent to stop being apathetic. Just needs people to tune in. I think shit is so fucking deep that like the amount of levels that had to be scraped off and broken down to make any kind of significant change are like, the crust is very, very, very thick.
It would be interesting if there were a revolution of the type that happened 200 plus years ago that totally replaced what existed here. But given that that's likely not to happen, considering the power of capital, I think what America needs is something that it has already built into its system, which is a constitutional convention. The constitutional convention was written into the Constitution. 2/3 of the states can allow it to happen. In other words, if 2/3 of the states agree that it should happen, it could happen. Let it be made of what the thoughts of the people living here really want, you know, and let it address really complex issues like cloning and the genome project.
And we need something that's going to get us beyond that, because if we write a document that's going to be written as a reaction to our fears, then we're going to even be more putting ourselves behind closed doors and be more isolating ourselves towards the world. And but if we were to be able to get to that place and have it be a true representation of oppressed nationalities, oppressed people in this country, I think it would be a positive thing. But so when I say cultural catalyst, I think that something needs to happen where the voices of the people are actually heard.
You know, there's like Martin Luther King's America, and there's the people who killed him's America, you know? There's Kennedy's America, and the people who killed him's America. And it's gonna be like that until we have like a reconsideration of what we are, what America is, you know?
I think we need dialogue, man.
I think we need to understand each other. There's so much of a class system here, you know? I think that needs to be taken apart. And that only happens through like understanding of each other's cultures and habits and things like that. So once there's an open line of communication, then that in itself may help a little bit. And I think they need an open line of communication between all class, all races.
It was Day of the Dead, and that evening there was a big Hispanic celebration in East LA to pray and remember those no longer with us. My friend, who I was staying with, thought we should first go to that, and then later head downtown and see how the hipsters were celebrating it.
Peace.
Yeah, a little bit of understanding and no more bombing and less genocide around the rest of the planet.
More communities coming together.
I think Zen Buddhism might have the answer is compassion, empathy, to empathize with one another, whether we're dark color, light color, whether we're imported or still here from the beginning, brown people. Which I love.
I don't believe in America, so I don't think it needs anything because this land is not America for me. That's what it is.
What does this land need?
What does this land need? Oh, more respect. That's about it.
I think it needs open clubs until 11 in the morning. You know, more acid. Or, you know, that kind of stuff.
What? I don't think America needs anything. I think it's got everything it wants. Really. Everything it needs. What it wants is probably a little bit more, but, you know, what it needs it's right here. It doesn't need anything else. It's got its people, it's got its land, and it's got its, you know, beliefs, and that's what America is. You know. Just came here for rock and roll, you know. Yeah, that's what America is to me. It's rock and roll music. That's about it for me.
All human beings are equal in this world. God says if you love humans, he loves you. So it doesn't matter you're American, Russians, German, Japanese, Filipinos, Asians, Arabs, whatever. We're all same, you know. We have to look each other, you know. We have to look after each other, you know. We have to help the people as a regard the human, you know. If you're a human, you have to do these things, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's what I mean, you know. That's what I'm saying, man. Nothing else, you know.
I decided my last day to interview would be spent near the ocean. I couldn't wait, because I hadn't seen the ocean in almost 4 weeks, and that was in New York City. So I headed west, towards Venice Beach.
Now you might think that I'm a dreamer, but there's one thing I know for sure. Life is ours to live, so don't forsake it. We'll put yours up on a pedestal.
America needs a big change.
Yeah, big.
Like, I don't know, we're involved in a religion called Scientology, which is basically to improve conditions in life, to improve conditions in people's lives. That's the basic purpose of it. So, yeah.
So what do you think America, and you said America needs a big change, like what kind of change do you think might be good for this country?
Well, like,
we need a moral code, for example. Everybody in the society, because it's like declining. So we need like, everybody needs some sort of moral code so they know what's right from wrong.
If you get a few more queens, get rid of your president, get a couple of queens in. You know, God rest her with Princess Di. We need another Princess Di, and so does America.
What exactly happens when a country has a few queens?
Wow, we tend to have a big party and just dance in the streets, really. Carnival! Yeah. Queens do fashion, queens do music, queens do cocktails, and queens can rule a country.
The biggest problem in America today is men don't know how to make love to women. And that's where the problems all come from. The women are wrecked because of men. And men need to take charge. Women are crazy because of men. Men have emotional penises. They don't know how to take care of women. And lovemaking is the key to changing the world. If you get people who know how to make love, you get a couple that knows how to make love, they'll be so excited about it, they'll want to share it with somebody else and somebody else. And then you change the world with lovemaking. That's how to change the world.
I believe that's very, very true.
The whole world needs a whole new outlook towards other countries. And we need to, instead of bombing them, say, hey, what can we do to help each other? And how can we end the killing of people and the bombing of people? And I've been through this. I had a son in one of the wars. And it's devastating on the family, and it's horrendous on the male that's over there. That's what America needs. He said, hey, let's look at peaceful means to solve this.
Why do you think that's so hard to accomplish it?
It's never been easy to accomplish. I don't think anyone's ever tried it. And I think it would be wonderful if Bush went down as a forerunner and, hey, let's have peace, not war. Let's do good deeds for each other and not bad things to do each other. And let's see what we can do to help each other.
I'm now at the end of my journey. I've traveled from east to west and going from sea to shining sea. I feel blessed to have met over 500 people, and the people have spoken. This country has changed. People aren't talking about jobs or not knowing their neighbors as much. Instead, the top 5 answers I heard were, we need a different president. We need peace. We need love. We need God. And we need to help other people. And this really surprises me because it's so contrary to what is said in the mass media and in the public opinion polls. Frankly, I'm shocked. You may have wondered what I think America needs. Well, I believe we need to find a greater awareness of ourselves and our actions. And through this awareness, I think we can come closer together as a nation. I believe we have to use all of our resources, our video cameras, our teachers, or even our feelings to visualize and build the best society possible. So I challenge each of you to go out and find your America. Ask it what it needs, and we'll build it together.
this tapping sound. No one hears you on the other side of your window, so you open wide. Slide on open out your window. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tapping, 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 tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. Tapping sound, tap, tap, tap. Here, I hear this tapping sound. Here, they can't hear you on the other side of your window as you take your ride. Hear this tapping, tapping, tapping sound. Hear this tapping, tapping, tapping sound. Love tap, love tap.